Hi everyone, Tom Aspinall here. I am going to be talking with Inform Sport in about 10 minutes. I'm going to be jumping on with Zapply, talking about Zapply and what's important to athletes. So check it out.
So JP, you've had a lot of success quite quickly with your brand and products. Take us back a little bit. When you start thinking about developing a product, where does that process begin? Does it start with a gap in the market? Does it start with what you think athletes specifically need? Tell us a little bit about the history.
Yeah, to be honest, it started with a big problem my friend had, and he fights at Glory Kickboxing, which is the biggest fight organization in the Netherlands. And he trains twice a day. Was in a training camp for one match, and he came to me and he said, "Jelte, I have a big problem. I did my blood work. They do blood work regularly, and I saw really low testosterone levels." And he said, I have a background in food technology, so I studied food technology. And he said, "Hey, what can I do in terms of nutrition?" And I got into the topic, and I saw that it wasn't only on a big problem with athletes. There's a big declining trend in testosterone levels among men.
Sure.
So in the last 50 years, they lost 50% of their testosterone. Researcher Shauna Swan is interesting to look at if people want to know more. So I got into the details, and yeah, the results are pretty shocking, because if you look at the deficiencies among men in certain ingredients, certain vitamins and minerals, they're pretty shocking, especially here in the Netherlands. If you're here in the UK and in the Netherlands, vitamin D3 in the winter is a big problem.
Sure.
We work with a couple of nutritionists here in the UK, and they report like 90% or more are deficient in vitamin D3, but we also saw a deficiency in zinc, for example. So we have a really high quality zinc form in our mix, zinc picolinate. Selenium, which is found in Brazil nuts. Not sure if you know but you can eat like 3 a day. If you eat more, you will feel ill. So we found a really good form of selenium select, which is a patented ingredient, and we added that to our mix, which is, I think 60% of men are deficient in it. So we have a fundamental stack in our mix that supports testosterone, energy, recovery, and that's where we started. And yeah, the product got picked up pretty quick, because there's a lot of underdosed products in the market. There are a lot of trending products like the Shilajit gummies, for example, and there's not a lot of science behind it. So what I did, I went to my professor and a couple of experts, like medical experts in my network, and we created this mix, and we're still improving it. If a new products come to market or new studies come to market, we try to improve it. We survey over 100,000 people that use it on a daily basis to see what they are struggling with, because our mission is to help men become the best version of themselves. Sure. And yeah, we asked them, okay, what do you need? So we made a custom meal plan for people. We helped them improve sleep, recovery, ways to train. Sure. We work with a lot of experts, nutritionists here in the UK, like I said, that also can give tips, because if you don't train well, if you don't sleep well, and you don't eat well, this is not a magic pill. It won't do anything.
It supplements your efforts.
Yeah, it's the extra.
Tom, it's a pleasure to meet you. And just perhaps to start off, if we could just ask you, take us inside a heavyweight camp. What does it take in terms of a typical day, in terms of demands physically on your body? And what sort of role does nutrition play in your training, performance, and recovery?
Yeah, I mean, training twice a day, every day, pretty much like six days a week with 1 day rest. But to be honest, training, like the showing up, is actually pretty simple. It doesn't require much, to be honest. It's something that I've been used to for the whole time that I've been training. I've been doing that for a long time. I've done that my whole life. But the most important thing, and the reason that supplements and stuff like that is so important, is the recovery, the regeneration, all that kind of stuff, because I'm training like 2, sometimes even 3 times a day, from pads, wrestling, grappling, strength work on top of that, and heavyweight. Like, I'm trying to move someone around my size, so it's all about getting in, getting the job done. The recovery, sleep, food, hydration, and obviously the supplements sit underneath that all, and like they're the magic that you need when you're in training, because any idiot can show up to training, but it's the bit that's in between that's important.
Sure. So it's like those marginal gains. It just gives you that little edge to be the very best athlete you can be.
Yeah, well, it's the energy. It keeps the energy level up. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Supplements and the diet and sleep and all that stuff. Like, they're the important things. Like, on a Monday, you're getting in. Everyone's got energy on a Monday. How are you feeling on Friday after you've done 10 sessions that week? Like, that's the secret, is keeping the energy level high, and that's what supplements kind of help with a lot.
Tom, you must have been approached by a number of supplements brands over the years. What made you convinced that you wanted to have some sort of partnership with Zapply?
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially now, like I'm, at the top of the game. I've been approached so many times from so many different supplement brands, vitamin brands, testosterone stuff, and honestly, it's hard to trust anybody, because a lot of these people have even though they say that they're lab tested and stuff like that, they're just testing like one batch, one small batch. And if you're in a big lab and there's loads of different batches and loads of different brands going into the stuff, like, stuff can get contaminated easily, and it
Sure.
takes one bad batch
Yeah.
for me to get, to fail a drug test. So that can potentially, especially at this point in my career, that can potentially be the end of my career if I'm getting banned for a year or 2 years for something that, just is a bit irresponsible. So, like, I won't go into a shop and buy any supplements and take it. There is absolutely no way. But I knew that Zapply, they do the right testing. Everything is tested properly, individually. Obviously, the informed sport thing is massive for a professional athlete who's getting tested on a regular basis. Like, I've been tested 3 times in the last 2 weeks randomly. So it's got to be informed sport or nothing. And before I even spoke about any branding stuff, any commercial stuff, any of that kind of stuff with Zapply, I wanted to know that the product's right, and the product is right. So that's why we started the partnership.
I mean, it's very interesting you're saying that the first thing you look for was informed sport, because, if you were to have some sort of partnership with a brand which wasn't tested every batch like Zapply has committed to, then you are exposing yourself to risk. Testing 3 times in the last 3 weeks, do you say that's quite a pressure in terms of you managing that? How do you find that in terms of the doping control pressures that are on you?
Yeah, 3 times in the last either 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know. Like, it's something that I'm quite used to it now. I've been tested a lot of times. People showing up at my door at 6 a.m. is not something that's unusual to me anymore. Yeah, it's just something that I'm used to. But I like it, to be honest, because I'm a clean athlete, and that's why I'm very selective for what I put in my body, because it has to be right. And Zapply is the right product because everything is individually tested. I've been with protein brands in the past and supplement brands, and I'm not comfortable taking it. Like, it can take, especially like, I'm getting a little bit older now. I'm getting towards kind of the second half of my career, and if I'm going to get banned for 2 years, that's potentially career over, and I can't risk any of that kind of stuff. So that's why Zapply I was obviously very, very happy with the testing, the product, and all that kind of stuff. Before we even spoke about anything commercially, I wanted to know that everything was right, and as far as I'm concerned, this stuff's perfect.
And tell us about the benefits of using Zapply. We know it's all about creating high levels of energy and supporting testosterone. Do you generally see the benefits in the short term?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, energy and stamina is super important for a guy like me. Like, I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'5", 115, 120 kilos. Like, that takes a lot of fueling, and sometimes food alone isn't enough. Like, I'm very fast twitch. Me as an athlete, I'm very fast twitch, and like, that takes a lot. Like, if you're going to struggle with cardio and stamina and stuff like that, like, that's going to run out pretty quick when you're moving fast and you're a big guy.
Yes.
So Zapply just really helps me keep that, them energy levels, that stamina going. Like, food alone, it just doesn't really cut it, to be honest. I need more. I need more than the sleep, and the immune system's got to stay up. You're a big guy, you're training hard, like, your immune system's low, your testosterone starts dropping. Like, it was music to my ears, to be honest with you, when I realized that I can take something that's going to build my testosterone naturally.
Right.
Because injuries are picked up easily as a big guy. My output's massive with the speed I move and the kind of athlete I am. So energy and stamina is just so important to me. So yeah, I think it's a great product for things like that.
Again, with regards to informed sports, do you think that is widely appreciated amongst your sport, that athletes should only use products like the Zapply one that are tested every batch before they go to market?
I don't know, because like when I was younger, I was a little bit more naive. Like when I was, it's difficult because a lot of MMA fighters are very like myself. Like they don't come from, they don't have any funding behind them financially. They come from just like a regular background, and
Sure.
you know, well, I could definitely, speaking from my own perspective, I definitely couldn't afford to not take free stuff. And when I was coming up, I was given some free stuff, and then you hear the stories about, you know, good fighters' careers getting wrecked and stuff like that, and just because they take it like a tainted supplement, and it's so easily done with the different, you know, stuff getting in, you know, being tested and being made in the same labs and stuff like that. But something that I really like about informed sport is like I can speak to JP, I can speak to the guys at Zapply, and they're going to speak to me like someone who's looking after my nutrition, not a salesman. They're not trying to sell me on what it is. I can ask them what it is and I can get a straight answer. And I know that if it's informed sport approved and stuff like that, it will get past. And that's something that all athletes, whether it's MMA or otherwise, if you're getting tested, you need to be careful what you put in your body. And Zapply is like, you know, at the top of the game with that kind of stuff.
Indeed, absolutely. Well, Tom, I think your time's up now, or our time with you is up. But thank you very much. I think your approach to how you use nutrition and what you put into your body is you know, very, very responsible. So we applaud you for that, and we'd love to have a chat with you in the future, and maybe even invite you down to our laboratory and show you what's actually involved with the whole process.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You can have the best products in the world, but if you're not providing that level of assurance and confidence to an athlete that it's safe, you may not get the chance to have those partnerships. So
100%.
how important was
that is the most important thing in our business, because
Sure.
their body, like Tom said, their body is their business.
Of course.
So, like I told you, I was having dinner here in the UK with a boxer, and he got like a glass of water, like this one.
Sure.
And he said, "Can I have like a closed bottle?"
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know what's in there if it's not closed, and
It's not sealed. Yep.
that gave me also an extra assurance that we really need to get like a proper testing on Zapply. And that time we had the NZVT, which is a Dutch doping authority. They're a partner with you, right?
Yes, we do the analysis for their program.
Yeah.
As well. Yep.
Obviously, informed sports nutrition is bigger here in the UK, so we started working with you guys because for us it's really important to have like a third party that has no stake in the company that controls us, because otherwise it's when I do my homework, I check my own homework. That's not the way to do it. Yeah. So for us it's really important, and also to get the trust from the guys is really important, because I don't believe you are able to do a partnership if you don't do these tests.
Absolutely right.
And honesty is really important in our company. Like everything starts with a good product, and like we saw with our product, we did, of course we do marketing, but it also went mouth to mouth. So I got like text from the biggest fighters, and I was like, holy wow. For example, Tom Aspinall, and I was like, what's happening? But yeah, I would like to encourage everybody, start with a good product. Absolutely. And everything will come.
So JP, tell us a little bit more about the ingredients and the science behind Zapply, and how it's you know, how it is starting to create a lot of movement and a lot of talk in the industry.
Yeah, so how we start is we look at the deficiencies. So for example, we work with a couple of nutritionists here in the UK, and they do a lot of tests. So vitamin D3 test, testosterone test. And yeah, especially in the winter, and in the Netherlands and the UK, we're not blessed with a lot of sun. So I believe he told me that 90% of the people were deficient in vitamin D3. So what we did is we put that in the mix, but also in combination with K2, which helps you absorb more vitamin D3. And yeah, like I said, the numbers among men are pretty shocking at the moment. A researcher, Shauna Swan from the US, did a big research around testosterone levels, and they have been declining for the last 50 years for over 50%. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a male's body, but we're not eating clean, we're not sleeping right, we're having a lot of stress, we're sitting the whole day behind the desk. Yes. So this product is not only for athletes, but also for the normal guy that works 8 hours a day, sleeps 6 hours a night, has a couple of children. And I think we're on Trustpilot, where you now have a 4.8 with a lot of happy people in the UK that get supported energy, but also testosterone And that's how it fundamentally started. And we always want to improve. So I think we have over 100,000 users on a daily basis in the UK. And don't point me on the number, but around that number.
Sure.
And yeah, we survey everyone and ask, okay, what can we do better? Where can we help? We have a meal plan. We have tips to sleep better because, for example, testosterone, sleep is key in there. So yeah, we try to, it's our mission to help men become the best version of themselves.
You've obviously had some great success for a young brand, and you're doing very well. What are the plans for the future? Do you have other products in the pipeline that you look
Yeah, we're working on a omega-3 complex. Okay. We like to do it with algae because it's a bit more sustainable. We have creatine coming in. We're working on a sort of blood flow product. So we have like we have a really, I'm sitting here, but we have a really good team of 25 people. And together we are looking, like we also use the survey data. Hey, what do people need? We have like a sleep mix because sleep is the foundation of energy, testosterone. So yeah, there's more coming, but we also like this product because it's like 14 ingredients in one, and you pay for one. It's like you pay for 14 supplements, but you pay for only one. So that's something we really like, a 14-in-1 solution, which is better affordable because like if you buy these separately, you pay 200 plus pounds. Okay. And that's also, that works with men. Yeah. That logical choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that we have T1 and we might have 4 or 5 products in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
Yeah.
One final question: where did the name Zapply come from? It's not I mean, I don't know. Is it a Dutch word? Does it mean something?
No, it's like a zap, like from the lightning, which is in our logo as well, and that stands for energy and stamina and testosterone. And like testosterone is a little bit of a dirty word sometimes. People see it as like injecting testosterone.
There's a lot of sensitivity around it in the anti-doping community.
Yeah, and this is a product that supports it. It's the vitamins and minerals that support it, and it's naturally so your body will be optimized for working, of course. And another nice thing about it, the domain was free.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Well, I think it's a very catchy name, and
there
is that zap component to it does suggest certain things. Great. Yeah. Well, JP, it's been a pleasure meeting you. It's been a pleasure learning about Zapply and T1. It's great to meet Tom. What a star he is. Yeah. We'd love to invite you down to our laboratory in the future, just so you can get first-hand experience of the journey that your product goes through. It is very high-end science. It provides an incredible amount of protection to athletes like Tom. And maybe next time we'll see you at the laboratory.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Thank you.